What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Monday. Welcome into the Daily Juice Podcast, being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we are back after a brutal weekend. And I mean brutal. 0-6, down about 7 units, and we put a dent in the overall record for the Daily Juice since I've come back. My goodness, we were up 20 units, and now we are not. Still up double digits, but this is the roller coaster ride. Hopefully, as we start the new week, hopefully that's about it, although this is the worst week for sports betting of the 2023 year. Welcome to the desert. We've hit the bottom. Time to climb our way out of it. This podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. You guys can go and have a really fun conversation with those folks at OmahaSteaks.com right now by getting an unbelievable deal. Now, the deal's going to change tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow we have a new offer. So if you like this deal, you might want to jump on it today, all right? This is 61% off the gourmet grill pack. You have fillets, you've got chicken, you got pork, you've got seasonings, you got dessert. You got Frank's. You got it all. Plus 8 Omaha steak burgers. Promo code is JUICE. If you like this offer, you're going to put it in the top right-hand corner in the search bar. That's going to activate it for $99.99. New offer will hit you tomorrow for the Omaha Steaks sponsorship. So if you like this offer, today's the day to get it. Or wait for the new offer tomorrow and see what it is. Maybe better. I don't know. But this one's pretty darn good. It's a lot of food for less than $100. All right, so I can't even recap yesterday. It was just Red Sox win, not on the run line. They win 4-3. There were 4 runs scored in the 6th inning, not 4 runs scored in the 5th inning that would have given us the over 5.5 in the first 5 of the Rangers game. Rangers lost, by the way. Patrick Corbin pitched really well. That was weird. Kind of a bummer situation there. And then the Braves got beat up pretty badly. We bet the streaks yesterday. The Red Sox did win, just not on the run line. So they ended up winning 5 games in a row going into the All-Star break. Braves got spanked by the Rays, who snapped their 7-game losing streak. Looked pretty good doing it. So maybe Tampa's got something to say in the second half of the year. But those were, you bet the streaks. Those things can happen. If it goes against you, it goes against you. You got to wear it, and you got to move on to something else. So it is a week of wonkiness. Okay, so I got to search around to see what I want to bet on. I only have 2 plays for us here today. If you want to fade them both, go right ahead. I'm not going to be angry, okay? You can go ahead and do that because I'm ice cold. I never get angry about you guys fading and making money, okay? Never get mad. Use my losses to benefit you, right? You guys win, I lose. I'm totally fine with it, but I kind of do like both these bets coming up here for today. The first one is in the home run derby, okay? Who wins this thing? I have no idea, okay? All I know is that Major League Baseball juices the balls in the home run derby. They want home runs, but T-Mobile is not exactly conducive for home runs, all right? So here's the weather forecast. 70 degrees for the home run derby during the day. Low of about 54. That's not really warm, but that's not bad because the guys aren't going to be overly sweaty and hot. They're going to be able to keep themselves relatively cool, which is unlike we've seen in other places like San Diego or LA, where the temperature gets pretty high. The wind is going to be slight. It looks like the dome will be open, all right? So it's going to be open air. What direction the wind blows, we'll have to wait and see. This is not a home run friendly ballpark, okay? The record for T-Mobile Park in its 24-year history is 482 feet, hit back in April of this year. That's the longest home run at the park in the StatCast era, okay? There's only been 6 home runs in the history of the park hit over 460 feet, okay? So 482 is the record. DraftKings has set the number for the longest home run at 490.5 feet. Okay, so this would be the longest home run in the history of the park. I just can't get around the idea that we have seen really far home runs be hit by guys who are in the field here, namely Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso, when it was at Colorado in Coors Field, and you're going to go, Matt, Coors Field is at altitude, mile high. This is sea level, Seattle, thick air, 60% humidity. What are you talking about? Just saying, Pete Alonso hit a home run, hit a bomb of a home run back in 2021 last year of 514 feet. Okay? He also hit 4 home runs of at least 508 feet. Okay, this is what this dude does. He's favored to win it because he actually cares about the home run derby. He wants to win this thing because it's $1 million prize. His base salary is $500,000. So he can double his annual salary here tonight by winning this thing. The longest home run ever in the StatCast era during a home run derby is 520 feet last year, set by Juan Soto, who won the event. Trevor Story last year hit a 518-foot home run that nearly left the entire ballpark yet last year, okay? So the longest home runs were all hit last year. It's at altitude is what you would expect, okay? This is not anywhere near it. However, I do think you have to look at the fact that Major League Baseball will know this. And Major League Baseball might be a little bit concerned because according to StatCast, I mean, we're talking about one of the worst home run ballparks in all of baseball. 21st in the league, according to onlyhomers.com for T-Mobile Park. There's only been 92 home runs in total hit this season at T-Mobile this year. So that's a little concerning. I think baseball might be a little bit concerned in terms of, well, how many home runs get hit, okay? So if you want some extra action on this, the number of home runs hit, you can go and try to find some different opportunities here. Number of home runs hit is 276 and a half. I actually would lean towards the under in that of 276 and a half. I don't know if we see as many home runs simply because of this ballpark, the weather, everything I just mentioned. However, I do think there's a good shot that we get one monster home run that somebody, because of either the weather, the ball, early, this most likely needs to be done in the first round, okay? Going over 490 and a half feet for the home run derby, all right? Just because I don't trust baseball. I think they'll know all these storylines. It's going to be talked about a ton during the pregame show about the lack of home runs hit in Seattle this season and that this is a hard ballpark to get the ball out of, in particular in dead center field, which is over 400 feet. But again, 482 feet being the longest home run ever done this year at the ballpark. I just think these are going to be Super Bowls that they're going to juice it up. And I think Pete Alonso or Vlad Guerrero Jr. or, Julio Rodriguez, Luis Robert, somebody's going to crank one over 490 and a half feet. All right. It's juiced to the under for everything I just said. All right. This is going against the numbers. This is just going with what does baseball want tonight? Baseball wants eyeballs, ratings, and they want mammoth home runs over 490 and a half feet. It's minus 105, 1.05 units down on it. It lets us watch every single swing and every single home run. It gives us action on every single home run. It lets us have some excitement on every single swing. Does someone connect and hit an absolute moonshot? And if they do, goes 490 and a half feet, over 490 and a half feet for the longest home run tonight in the home run derby, minus 105, 1.05 units down on that. Now, Summer League is starting here in Las Vegas. It's already been going on, and one of the best teams, I've been waiting on this for a bit. The Orlando Magic have not looked good so far in what they've done. And the Orlando Magic, who they're sending here to Vegas, they're sending basically nobody. I mean, Jet Howard is coming, okay? He was the 11th pick in the draft. He will play. You've got Caleb Houston, who is the 32nd pick in the draft last year, and Anthony Black, who was the 6th pick this year, by the Orlando Magic, okay? They're young, and that's about it, okay? Everyone else is undrafted. Everybody else is just a roster that the Magic threw together. The Pacers on the other side are doing something different. The Pacers are sending the 6th pick in last year's draft, the 31st pick in last year's draft. the 26th pick in this year's draft, the 55th pick in this year's draft, and a couple of guys who they had draft rights to that they grabbed a hold of during the NBA draft, okay? This is a relatively, I hesitate to say talented, but Isaiah Wong is on this team. Benedict Mathurin is on this team. Andrew Nembhard is on this team, okay? Pacers have got a roster, okay? It's only -3.5 up against the Orlando Magic here tonight in Vegas. This is a game worth watching. This is a game I think the Pacers win relatively easily, and I think it's a decent play. I mean, you start looking at rosters, okay, here in Vegas. For me, it's like how many guys were drafted by the team that they're playing for, because that matters to me, because you've got the coaching staff. It's not the head coaching, obviously, but like they're going to want to get these players into the system. Like teams like the Warriors have sent like nobody. Like they've got the guy who they drafted 19th overall coming here, and that's about it. I mean, their roster just isn't talented. It's just not very good. Same with like the Boston Celtics. Celtics sent nobody. The guy they picked, J.D. Davidson, they picked him 53rd in last year's draft. The only drafted player they've got in this entire roster. Now, maybe these guys do like, the little engine that could type stuff. But generally speaking, if you're not drafted, if you're not, if the team's not really invested in it, they're not really going, heavily with you. The Clippers, on the other hand, the Clippers have sent, Kobe Brown, a guy they drafted 30th this year, Jordan Miller, a guy they drafted 48th this year, a player they drafted 43rd in the draft. It's not really a great rhyme or reason to come up with it, but I just think that matters to me in terms of how these players are going. Like the Spurs, obviously, Victor Wembanyama played last night, but it's not just Victor Wembanyama who they're doing it with. They've got guys who they took 20th last year in the draft, 25th last year in the draft, 44th this year in the draft. Talking about players that they are invested in and players that they want to see develop. Summer League is all about development. So that's one way of taking a look at how these teams are going to go. And for this week, we got to pay attention to Summer League, okay? It's not the most fun thing to bet. I'm not in love with it, but it's just what we have to do. And, I don't mind this, okay? I'm betting units, 1 unit and whatnot, but this is not a bad time to take a look at your bankroll and start to assess what your 1 unit play actually is, okay? If your bankroll has been good and done well in hockey and the NBA and you want to keep playing same 1 unit plays, that's fine. If you want to shrink your 1 unit size and shrink it down here to, whatever you need it to be, remember your 1 unit, people always ask me like, Matt, what's 1 unit? To me, it's 3 to 5% of your bankroll, all right? So your bankroll is $100, it's a $3 to $5 bet that you're making, okay? So if you're going to go and you can, push it out, $1,000 is 30 or 50, $10,000 and so on and so on and so on. July right now, not a bad time. Take a look at what's going to happen for the second half of the year, the next 6 months as you head towards football. Where's the bankroll? How are you doing? Or have a summertime bankroll and get ready for the fall. Saying you don't want to blow the bankroll in the summertime betting on baseball and home run derbies. A chance for you to say, all right, so I'm going to shrink the bankroll isn't, I'm going to do 3%, not 5%. And that is what the pros really do, okay? The pros will shrink their unit size when it's not advantageous to push, okay? So if in the fall, it's going to be a 5% 1 unit bet, but right now it's a 3% 1 unit bet, not a bad idea, okay? Just something to take a look at, just something to watch your bankroll with bankroll management, something to keep in mind as we head towards this wonky week where there won't be real baseball being played till Friday, right? Thursday or Friday. So get some time off from baseball. Given where I was the last 2 days, not too bad to take have a smaller type of week. All right. 2 bets for us here today, just a little over 2 units in play. We are going with the over 490.5 feet for the longest home run tonight in the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby from Seattle. That is a -105 bet, 1.05 units down. And the Pacers -3.5 against the Orlando Magic here in Las Vegas for the Summer League. -110, 1.1 units down on that. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt or all the socials at SportsTalkMatt. It is the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.